We've heard that masturbation is completely normal, but to what extent? How many times a day can you do it without it becoming an addiction? And what if you can't stop? Let's look into these questions and explain why you should consider giving up this seemingly normal, but in fact, hiding dangers for your life. Before we begin, I want to apologize for the dramatic cover, but it is necessary to draw attention to this important issue of the 21st century. This habit weakens and harms both young and old, depriving us of willpower. In this video, we will look at what happens to our brains from a scientific and philosophical point of view, as well as what lessons Stoicism can offer in the fight against addiction. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you don't miss anything important. History of masturbation. Modern medicine clearly states that masturbation is a normal process not only for humans, but also for other mammals such as dogs. However, this was not always the case. In the past, masturbation was considered immoral, especially among men, because the useless waste of semen prevented the continuation of the family line. Moral prejudices were compounded by myths that masturbation caused illness, so it was not recommended. What do we know about masturbation today, especially in the context of its impact on men? The French Institute of Health and Medical Research has found that the male brain switches off sexual desire after orgasm. The brain, responsible for conscious thinking, goes into rest, which explains why many men fall asleep after sexual activity. But what is the problem? One of the possible dangers of masturbation is that it releases dopamine, a hormone responsible for feelings of pleasure, stress reduction, and a sense of reward. Some people become addicted to this process. In the Diagnostic Manual for Mental Disorders, hypersexuality is already classified as a form of obsessive-compulsive disorder. Excessive masturbation can lead to uncontrollable impulses, making a person a victim of their own behavior. This can lead to addictions such as excessive pornography consumption, relationships with prostitutes, promiscuity, and other harmful habits. How does addiction work? Addiction to masturbation occurs due to chemical reactions in the brain. Each time, the brain requires more and more dopamine to achieve the same level of pleasure as the first time. When the brain feels oversaturated with dopamine, it blocks the receptors, trying to protect itself. This leads to the fact that the person no longer feels pleasure, which generates even more disappointment. It is a vicious circle, similar to the behavior of a smoker who cannot quit smoking or a person who eats until he is sick. Stoicism and masturbation. Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and other Stoics spoke about pleasures and passions from a unique perspective. They argued that true freedom lies in controlling your desires. Masturbation, from the Stoic point of view, is not only a search for physical pleasure, but also an opportunity to understand the boundaries of the body and mind. Epicurus emphasized that it is not the desire for pleasure, but the ability to control it that makes a person truly strong. Consequences of unbridled desires. The Stoics reminded us that our actions have consequences not only for us, but also for harmony with nature. By giving in to uncontrollable desires, we destroy inner harmony. Excessive masturbation can lead to emotional instability, guilt, shame, and constant dissatisfaction with ourselves. By controlling our emotions, we find true peace and freedom. An inspiring story. Let me share a story. I know a man who suffered from this addiction, finding fleeting relief, but facing a storm of emotions later. Having studied Stoicism, he learned to manage his desires and emotions. Today, he lives in harmony with himself, is free from addiction, and feels true happiness. Conclusion. Friends, think about what you are doing with your life, wasting time on fleeting pleasures. You will not become confident, successful, or attractive. I want you to write in the comments, "I am a strong person. I control my mind. I choose what makes me better."